What if I told you the real reason the universe hasn't answered you yet is not because you're unworthy, not because you're forgotten, but because you've been asking in the wrong way? Think about it. How many times have you prayed with all your heart, declared affirmations with passion, visualized your dreams in detail, begged for change, even cried out in desperation, and yet nothing happened? How many times have you said all the right words, but the silence of the universe felt deafening? Doesn't it make you wonder if the problem isn't that the universe refuses you, but that you've been speaking in a language it doesn't hear? What if the key to unlocking everything you've been waiting for is not in how loud you ask, not in how many times you repeat your desire, but in the vibration you carry while you ask? What if the universe has never once been moved by your words, but has always been faithfully reflecting your energy? The truth is this: the universe doesn't respond to what you say, it responds to what you are. You can use the prettiest phrases, the most powerful rituals, and the most convincing affirmations. But if your inner vibration contradicts them, nothing will shift. And this is why so many sincere, heartfelt requests go unanswered. Because people are saying yes with their lips, but radiating no with their energy. The great master understood this. That's why he didn't leave us with empty words to memorize. He left behind a code, a hidden way of aligning yourself so completely that the universe cannot refuse you. Not because it pities you, not because it feels obligated, but because your vibration becomes undeniable. When you learn this code, when you live it, you stop chasing answers and instead become someone who naturally attracts them. And here's the first key: you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. That's the truth most people run from, because it's easy to say, I want love, I want abundance, I want freedom. But look around you. What you see in your life right now is not random. It is not coincidence. It is the reflection of your deepest vibration. Reality never lies. You may believe you're asking for prosperity, but inside, every time you think of money, you feel fear. You may say you want love, but your heart still vibrates with rejection, neediness, or abandonment. You may claim you want growth, expansion, freedom, but inside you carry judgment, comparison, and sabotage. And the universe? It does not judge you. It does not punish you. It simply mirrors you. It reflects your dominant frequency, the strongest signal of your being, the one you may not even notice, but that is constantly broadcasting to the whole. Now, pause and ask yourself, have you ever felt like part of you truly wanted something, but another part of you secretly doubted, feared, or resisted it? Have you ever noticed that even when you try to think positive, a small voice inside whispers, this isn't real, this isn't possible, this isn't for you? That inner voice is not harmless. It is the vibration the universe responds to. And this is the silent reason why your requests have failed. The great law of correspondence explains it perfectly. What is inside manifests outside. What you carry in your inner field becomes what you live in your outer reality. And most people don't realize that their inner world is divided. They think one thing, feel another, act in a completely different way. They want one outcome but vibrate the opposite. This creates a collision field, a mixed signal with no clarity, no strength, no power to manifest anything lasting. It's like trying to listen to two radio stations at the same time. No matter how much you want to hear the song, what comes out is static. And static is exactly what the universe hears when your thoughts, feelings, and actions are not aligned. Vibrational noise. The master taught that creation requires coherence. There is no real manifestation if what you think, feel, and do are pulling in different directions. The universe doesn't respond to pretty speeches. It responds to the inner sum of your being. It responds to the vibration of your beliefs, your emotions, your imagination, your habits, your choices, all of it combined into one frequency that fills your field right now. This is why one of the greatest mistakes of modern spirituality is believing that repeating mantras or visualizing outcomes will automatically create them. Mantras are not magic. Affirmations are not spells. Visualization alone is not creation. These are tools, yes, but they cannot grow in poisoned soil. If your inner field is full of fear, guilt, doubt, or urgency, these practices are powerless. It's like planting a seed in contaminated ground. The seed is alive, but the soil cannot nurture it. Nothing blooms. Now let me ask you, how many times have you thought you were doing everything right? You said the words. You followed the steps. You thought positive thoughts. You visualized your dream. And still nothing changed. Why? Because deep inside, a hidden part of you did not believe. And that hidden part, that quiet disbelief, was louder than everything you said out loud. That hidden vibration was the real request the universe heard. Take the example of someone asking for money. They declare affirmations like, I am wealthy. They visualize themselves living in abundance. They write down financial goals. But when it's time to make a financial decision, fear takes over. When they see wealthy people, envy rises. When money comes, guilt appears. These hidden reactions are vibrations, and those are the ones the universe answers. Not the affirmation, not the goal sheet, not the vision board. The result is stagnation. Nothing changes. This is the blind spot of most seekers. They don't realize their automatic emotional reactions are their real prayers. Fear disguised as logic. Neediness dressed up as independence. Anger hidden under control. These are the vibrations that speak louder than any conscious request. And this is why the Master said, clean your inner field, because a clear field transmits powerfully, but a blocked field only recycles old patterns. What's the use of asking for freedom with fear still in your chest? What's the use of asking for love with a closed heart? What's the use of asking for expansion while repeating in your mind that you are not enough? The universe does not hear the voice of your words. It hears the vibration of your coherence. And if you've listened this far, maybe you've already noticed this conflict inside yourself. Maybe you've already felt that no matter how badly you want something, a part of you secretly pulls you back. Maybe you've already realized there's something inside you that doesn't fully trust. Something that repeats the past vibration while your lips speak the future. That is the vibration blocking your blessings. But here's the turning point. The moment you become aware of this conflict, it begins to shift. Awareness is power. When you see what was invisible, you change it. When you notice the vibration you've been carrying, your field starts to reorganize. You stop sending out mixed signals and start gaining clarity. But you must make a choice. You can continue fooling yourself with surface-level requests, or you can face the root vibration shaping your reality. You can keep trying to convince the universe with words, or you can become someone whose vibration is so strong, so clear, so aligned that reality has no choice but to respond. This is the path the Master revealed. This is the hidden code. But don't mistake this for thinking harder, repeating more affirmations, or forcing yourself to stay positive. That is not the way. The biggest error is believing vibration can be controlled by the mind alone. The truth is, vibration doesn't begin in the mind. It begins deeper. It begins before your intentions, before your choices, before your conscious will. It begins in your primal center, the root of your being, the place inside where there are no words, only impulse. And that impulse creates waves. Those waves become vibration, and that vibration defines your reality. Every authentic request begins before words. Words are the last step of creation. Before words, there is vibration. Before vibration, there is state. Before state, there is the hidden root of your being. Think of a seed. You see the sprout break through the soil and believe that's where life began. But in truth, the seed was alive long before, hidden in the dark, growing unseen. Your reality is the same. What you see outside is only the sprout. The true beginning was inside, long before anything appeared on the surface. This is why the mistake is not in wanting. The mistake is believing that wanting is the start. Wanting, affirming, visualizing, all these are surface-level signs of a vibration that was already alive within you. And this is why so many requests fail. Because what you vibrate without noticing is always stronger than what you say with intention. You can say, "I am prosperous" all day. But if your body tightens in fear when you think about money, that fear is the true signal. The universe doesn't read your sentence. It reads your field. Most people give up here. They think, if my hidden vibration commands reality, then I have no control. But that's not true. Control was never about forcing positive thoughts. It was about reaching the origin of your vibration, the place where everything begins. The Master called this place the heart of the soul. And when you access it, when you align it, when you clear it, you become a being the universe cannot ignore. Inside you there is a quiet place where all emotions are born. It is not the physical heart, and it is not the shallow emotional reactions that rise and fall on the surface of life. It is something much deeper, a hidden center of perception that begins to vibrate before your mind even knows what it is feeling. This space is so subtle and so deep that most people never notice it, yet it silently rules their entire reality. It is here that the root of your vibration begins, and this root does not obey your thoughts. You cannot command it with words or force it with logic. It only responds to alignment, to inner truth, to coherence between what you think, feel, and believe. This is why you may say to yourself, "I want to grow. I want to succeed. I want to be free." But if deep inside your energy field still vibrates fear, fear of shining, fear of being seen, fear of rejection, that fear will dominate. It will become the strongest frequency you emit. And that frequency is what will shape your opportunities, your relationships, your money, and your life. It does not happen because you want it to. It happens because that is the vibration you are carrying at your point of origin. Once you understand this, everything about creation and manifestation changes. You begin to see that you are not just creating reality when you deliberately focus or visualize. You are creating all the time. Your field never stops. It sends signals even while you sleep, even while you are distracted, even while you think nothing is happening. And those signals always come from the deepest emotional state that rules you beneath the surface. If you want to know why your life is the way it is, do not look at what you say out loud, or even at the thoughts you repeat during the day. Look instead at what you feel when you are completely alone, when everything is quiet, when you no longer have to pretend. That raw and unfiltered feeling is your true request to the universe. That is the vibration that speaks louder than all your words. And as long as it remains dominant, it will overpower every conscious effort. The strongest vibration always wins. It does not matter how many affirmations you recite, how many techniques you practice, or how hard you wish for the opposite. The universe reflects the vibration that is most alive in you. Just as a magnet does not choose what to attract but simply pulls to itself what matches its polarity, your energy field attracts what matches its frequency. This is why the ancient teachers warned that words alone are powerless unless they come from the right place. Words spoken without alignment scatter like dust in the wind. They disappear without effect. But words that are born from within, from that deep silent center, carry true creative power because they are carried on a vibration the universe recognizes. Most people ask from the wrong place. They speak requests with their mouths, but their field vibrates something else. They declare abundance, but still vibrate fear of lack. They affirm love, but still vibrate memories of rejection. They repeat phrases endlessly, but inside they carry doubt, worry, and insecurity. The universe does not hear the words. It only hears the frequency, and the frequency tells the real story. What makes this more difficult is an invisible enemy that hides inside the vibrational field. It is subtle. It does not announce itself, but it sabotages everything. These are unconscious beliefs, what Thoth called the negative echo. They are the residue of past experiences, old phrases, childhood conditioning, silent traumas, and repeated impressions that got recorded in your energy. Even if you no longer remember them, they still send out signals. You may think you are clear, positive, and spiritually awake, but deep within your field there may still live hidden phrases like, "I don't deserve this. Things never work out for me. Life is always a struggle." These are vibrational ghosts. You may not see them, but they remain present and active. The danger of these unconscious beliefs is that they do not need to be thought consciously to have power. They run silently in the background like hidden programs on a computer. The more silent they are, the stronger their grip. That is why so many people feel stuck. They try to vibrate positively. They try to set intentions. But these hidden echoes distort the signal. They create cracks in the field where energy leaks away. The request that should arrive as a strong and clear vibration instead arrives fragmented, weak, and confused. The result is unclear manifestation, or, worse, the opposite of what was desired. Imagine someone trying to manifest abundance who grew up hearing, "Money is evil. Rich people are bad. Happiness doesn't last." These beliefs, though forgotten, still form deep layers of vibration. So when they try to send out a frequency of wealth, the negative echo sends a hidden message that says, "Keep it away from me. Protect me from this." The universe answers the conflict, not the wish. Manifestation fails not because the universe is unfair, but because the frequency is not coherent. Where there is conflict, there cannot be clarity. Where there is no clarity, there is no answer. This is why the inner field must be cleaned before making a request. It is like wiping the lens of a camera. The best camera in the world cannot take a clear picture through a dirty lens. In the same way, your vibration cannot create a clear reality if your field is clouded by old noise. Thoth offered a simple but powerful practice for this. Vibrational perception. Close your eyes, think of what you want, and then honestly feel your body. Notice your chest, your stomach, your face. Is there tension, fear, unease? If even a subtle tightness exists, you have found noise. That tension is the physical proof that a belief inside you disagrees with your desire. As long as that tension remains, the field will remain unstable. The first step is not to force yourself to change the feeling, but simply to recognize it. Awareness alone begins to dissolve the hidden noise. What is hidden controls you, but what is revealed begins to lose its grip. Do not judge yourself for finding it. Every person has noise. The ones who manifest clearly are not those without blocks, but those who can perceive and clear them. Manifestation is like playing a sacred instrument. If even one string is out of tune, the music will not sound right. If your inner field is full of emotional static, the universe cannot hear your true desire. It will only hear the echoes of your fear, your doubt, your denial. But there exists a special state where all the noise goes silent, where the vibration becomes clean and whole. Thoth called this the fertile silence. It is not avoidance. It is not emptiness. It is not the silence of numbness. It is a living silence, rich with presence. In this silence, the ego no longer fights. The mind no longer tries to control. The body no longer resists. Everything falls into coherence, and the true request rises naturally from within. It is not an effort. It is not a demand. It is simply a natural expression of your state of being. The doorway into this silence is the breath. Breath is the bridge between the visible and invisible worlds, always available, always present. A deep conscious breath anchors you here and now. When you stop chasing, when you stop trying to force, when you simply allow yourself to be present, your field begins to reorganize. Energy that was blocked begins to move again. Where there is no fight, there is flow. In this state, you no longer make requests with words. You begin to live the vibration of what you want as if it already exists. This is not just daydreaming or imagination. Most people visualize as if they are watching a movie from afar, but that does not work. True activation happens when your body and senses begin to believe the reality is already happening now. You must step inside it fully. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Smell the air. Hear the sounds. Touch the objects. Breathe inside it. Live it from within. And more than anything, feel the emotions that belong to that reality. Joy, gratitude, relief, safety, lightness. Let them flood your system. In that moment, your body no longer sees the desire as something distant. It experiences it as real. And the universe responds not to imagination but to vibration. It answers what your body and field believe. This is the secret of vibrational coherence. When your mind, body, and emotion align around the same vision, the request becomes undeniable. The signal is constant, strong, and clear. It does not need to be repeated 1,000 times because it begins to vibrate on its own. It radiates silently, steadily, and powerfully, and reality begins to shift to meet it. But there is one last obstacle, and this is where most people fail. Time. Not clock time, but psychological time. The anxious waiting filled with doubt. Many people begin with strong vibration but lose it when they do not see instant results. They begin to watch for signs, to look for proof, and when nothing happens immediately, doubt creeps in. Doubt cracks the vibration. Frustration contaminates the field. The request collapses. This is the blind spot of manifestation. The vibration must not only start strong, it must be sustained. The universe does not move by the ego's calendar. It moves by vibrational precision. External reality changes only when the internal frequency is fully stabilized. And that takes as long as it takes. Not because the universe is slow, but because the resistance inside you must dissolve completely. The real test is not how much you want something. It is how long you can hold the vibration without proof, without guarantees, without signs. This is where faith and creation meet. Thoth called this active patience. It is not passive waiting, not postponing energy into the future. It is living as if it is already here, holding the vibration steadily, even if the outside world has not yet shifted. It is carrying certainty while appearances remain unchanged. This is rare, and this is why few people reach the full manifestation of their desires. But there is a practice to sustain it. Each morning, before you do anything else, step back into the living image you created. Breathe there. Feel there. Give thanks for it, even if nothing outside confirms it yet. Do it for a few minutes. What matters is not time, but intensity. This practice re-anchors your vibration each day, keeping the field coherent and strong. Over time, the noise dissolves, the field stabilizes, and reality answers with clarity. Because the universe always responds to the vibration that is whole, consistent, and alive. Whenever anxiety rises in you during the day, you can stop it with something very simple. Close your eyes for 3 seconds. Take a breath and repeat inside yourself, "It is done." These 3 words are not just a mantra or an affirmation. They are a direct command to your energy field. They remind your whole being that the reality you are waiting for is already moving towards you, already shaping itself, even if your eyes cannot see it yet. Reality doesn't begin in the visible world. It starts in the invisible, in vibration, in frequency. What you see is always the last step, not the first. The real power is not in what your eyes confirm, but in what your being sustains. When you begin to vibrate as though you have already received what you desire, you change the entire pattern of your field. And when your vibration changes, the universe has no choice but to respond, because the external world is nothing more than a mirror of the internal one. But there is always a very precise moment when everything begins to shift. It is not obvious. It is not dramatic. It is subtle, almost invisible. Yet it is the most decisive moment of all. This is the moment when resistance finally breaks, when your energy relaxes, when the field opens, and the universe begins its delivery. Outwardly, nothing seems different. You still wake up in the same bed, see the same faces, go through the same routines. But beneath the surface, everything is reorganizing. The universe never announces itself with trumpets at the beginning. It works quietly. It rearranges what you cannot see. Someone changes their mind about you. An old opportunity reappears. A locked door suddenly opens. Seemingly random events begin to line up in ways you could never have planned. At first, you don't see these changes, and this is where most people make their mistake. They assume nothing is happening. They let doubt creep in. They look only at the outside and believe the inside has failed. But the truth is the opposite. The inside has already been heard. The invisible has already responded. The field is already adjusting itself to reflect what you have become. This is why the work is not about demanding proof from the outside. It is about holding certainty on the inside. The outer reality always comes last. And in this stage, your alignment is everything. The universe wants to know whether you truly believe or whether you only wanted quick results. This is where the ego panics. It wants control. It wants evidence. It wants logic. But manifestation doesn't belong to logic. It belongs to frequency. And frequency only responds to consistency. This is where vibrational listening becomes your guide. You don't listen with your ears. You listen with your field. You notice small movements. You notice signs that repeat themselves. You see the same message in 3 different places in one day. You receive an invitation that seems random but points exactly where your intuition was already leading. You feel a nudge towards something new. None of these things are random. They are the universe echoing your vibration back to you. They are the whispers of the field telling you, I heard you. I am responding. But if you are distracted, if you are desperate for something loud and undeniable, you will miss them. The beginnings of manifestation are subtle. They are quiet. They respect the vibration that created them. If your vibration was silent, your answer will be silent too. The practice, then, is not about running or searching or forcing. The practice is slowing down, quieting the noise inside, watching the ordinary with new eyes, noticing when something feels slightly different, writing down what you notice, giving thanks for it. Gratitude is what strengthens the link. Gratitude tells the field, yes, I see it. Yes, I honor it. Yes, I receive it. And each time you do, the response accelerates. But the greatest danger comes right here, at this delicate point, when the field has already begun to answer. That danger is doubt. Doubt is quiet, sneaky, and corrosive. It does not scream. It whispers. It arrives as a harmless thought. What if this doesn't work? What if I made it all up? Maybe nothing is happening at all. But vibrationally, doubt is poison. It cuts the golden thread that connects you to your desire. You may have done everything right. You may have imagined with clarity, felt the presence of your answered prayer, aligned your actions. But if you let doubt stay, the connection weakens. The request doesn't vanish, but it disconnects. This is why so many people fail not at the start, but at the almost. They are right at the edge of the manifestation, but because their eyes do not yet see proof, their ego panics and sabotages everything. They overthink, overanalyze, and overcontrol. They demand to know how and when. They demand visible evidence. In doing so, They abandon the vibration that was already working. They collide with themselves. Desire pulls one way, resistance pulls the other. The field is torn apart by conflict. And in that conflict, the request loses its strength. There is only one solution: certainty. Certainty does not beg. Certainty does not panic. Certainty does not demand evidence. Certainty knows. And when your energy field radiates certainty, the universe bends toward you. Because certainty is magnetism. This is why the phrase "is already done" is not just helpful but essential. Every time fear arises, every time doubt sneaks in, close your eyes and repeat it. Say it not with impatience, not as empty words, but as truth. Say it as if you are reaffirming a law that does not change. And each time you do, you cut the root of doubt and return to your alignment. Each time you do, you strengthen the bridge between the unseen and the seen. The universe never delivers what you simply want. It delivers who you are. And as long as your desire remains separate from your identity, the field will treat it as something distant. That distance shows up as time, delay, resistance. But when you embody the desire, when you begin living as though it is already part of you, the vibration shifts completely. Desire stops vibrating as lack and starts vibrating as being. And when that shift happens, the universe responds, not because you asked louder, but because you became aligned. This is why the exercise of writing down your new identity is so powerful. Ask yourself, if I were already living this reality, how would I think? How would I speak? How would I respond to challenges? What would I honor daily? What would I stop tolerating? And then step into that identity, not as theater, not as pretense, but as presence. Every small action that matches that version of you sends a clear signal to the field. The universe does not answer requests. It answers identities. It doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to what you are being. But even action must be aligned. Action taken from fear, urgency, or impatience disrupts the field. Action taken from alignment flows. It carries power without struggle. The way to know the difference is to ask yourself, if I already had this, what would be my next natural step? Take that step. It may be small. It may be quiet. But the field understands. What matters is not the size of the action, but the vibration behind it. Inspired action doesn't chase. It collaborates. It doesn't force. It aligns. And once you have vibrated, imagined, acted, and embodied, there is a final seal: letting go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means trusting. It means planting the seed and not digging it up every day to check if it is growing. It means stepping back and allowing the universe to move in its own timing. Manifestation is not born from endless effort. It is born from the balance of alignment and surrender. This is the hardest part for most, because the mind is trained to trust only what the eyes can measure. But vibration does not obey the clock. It moves by its own rhythm, by the language of frequency. When you let go, you say not, whatever happens, but it already is. And that changes the quality of your entire field. The universe does not respond to anxious waiting. It responds to silent certainty. When the request becomes silence, the answer begins to speak. And so the full formula of manifestation is this: live as though it is already here. Feel it deeply in your body. Act in alignment with that new identity, and then surrender with complete trust. When these four merge, desire stops being a hope and becomes an inevitability. But even then, one last test arrives. The universe always checks if you are ready by showing you the shadow of your old self. Old patterns, old temptations, old doubts appear, not to stop you, but to ask, are you truly ready? Have you truly become? These are not setbacks. They are confirmations. They mean the field is shifting and the old is surfacing so it can leave. The only task is to remain steady. Do not slip back into the old vibration. Hold your new identity firmly, even when the old calls out to you. And at this point, seal it with words that are no longer just affirmation, but decree. I already am what I asked for, and the universe is already responding. Say it with presence. Write it with certainty. Each time you do, your vibration strengthens. Each time you do, the field bends more. You stop asking and start being. You stop hoping and start embodying. And when you become, the universe cannot refuse. You are not waiting anymore. You are not chasing. You are becoming. And once you become, reality has no choice but to follow.